Hello, welcome to the Building Real World Application with ASP.NET Core and MongoDB. This is a multi-video tutorial. I will tell you what we're going to do. We are going to build a cars database in a real world manner. So we are going to use serious authentication and authorization. We are going to refactor the entire ASP.NET Core project so that it will use the repository pattern and that it will conform to the solid design principles, which is it not by default. In lesson 2 we are going to create our front end, and in lesson 3 we will create our back end. By default we will in the first setup we won't go doing too much advanced things. We are not going to separate all our code into multiple layers. But actually, to get started, what we were going to first do is to install MongoDB from scratch, and yeah, and try to connect it with it using RoboMongo. And see, and I will show you how you can load some initial data into it. So that will be actually the scope of the first lesson. Hello, let's install Mongo. I'm using Windows 10 64-bit, and in order to install Mongo, you're going to Google Mongo Download Center. There you go to MongoDB Download Center. There you select your community server and version. Take any version. Then you download the MSI, which I already did. Then very important is to, once installed, you go to open the command prompt and say run as administrator. And then it will ask you if you want to run it as administrator. Please do that, otherwise it won't be possible to install Mongo as a service. I have installed Mongo in program files. Oh, sorry. Program files. Come on. CD MongoDB. Let me see, server, I guess 3.4. Okay. In this directory, in order to install Mongo as a service, this file should exist, the mongodb.config. And what the mongodb.config tells the installer is actually where to store the log file and where all databases should be stored. Well, once you have that file, the mongodb.cfg, I recommend to install Notepad++ in order to to edit this file like this. So on any case, so the mongodb.config, it should be there in this directory. And then in order to install Mongo as a service, you do like this. You do mongodb -config, and then you point it to your to this configuration file. So in my case it will be like cfg, and then install. which I already did, of course, so I won't do it again. But if you after you have typed in that installed execute that command, you can go to services, and there you should be able to see MongoDB running. Okay, so now you are up and running with MongoDB. Let's try to start it up. Well, to start up, it should already been start up. Unlike in MySQL or Microsoft SQL Server, you don't have a really rich tool set. But the best tool out there I find is RoboMongo, which is a kind of management tool for Mongo, and it is quite good. Of course, if you haven't installed it, install it using the download link. I have already installed it, so let's start it up. And when at the moment it is starting up, it will ask you where you want to connect. By default, your local installation can be found under localhost 27017. That is the port number. So I will connect to it, and when at the moment I connect to it, here I will see all my databases. So for our real-world application, we are going to create actually a car database with an admin panel. So I will create a new database. Car DB create. And here initially I will create a collection. Let's create a collection called cars. Okay. As you can see, we don't have cars yet, but that will be very easy. How are we going to fill some data in? Well, what I will do is we can do something like this. We can say a brand. We type in a type. We can type in a year, and I can say here, for instance, BMW. I say type is a 420D. I can say here this is a BMW, and I can say a Passat 2017. This is 2016, and I can say here Ferrari 488 Spider 2017. I can here say a Porsche Panamera 2016. Well, so this is these are our actually our this is a very simple sheet with a couple of cars. So what I will do is I will store it as cars.xls. I will save it as, I will show you a trick. I will save it as a comma delimited file. So it will be yes. So, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look CSV to JSON. Look at this. And then I'm going to paste the content of my CSV, I will put it in here, and as you can see, it will make really nice JSON. And be sure that you have selected this first row is the header row. So we're going to copy and paste this. Here in our cars collection, I will say insert document, select all, remove the brackets, remove the commas, validate, JSON is valid. I'm going to save it, and if we look now, you will see that there are 4 objects. So